Those hot dogs are pretty good.
Hey, Mike.
But Denny Hamlin is the hot... Look, Denny Hamlin has steamed his hot dog today.
No, wiener, hot dog wiener.
What a performance for Hamlin, and what a drive. If you saw Jeff Gordon come through the field, man, that's the Jeff Gordon of old. Matt Yoko.
Impressive run by Super G. Now, you're poised there to make a run at the end, and then the speeding penalty. Can you put into words the disappointment?
Oh, my gosh. I'm so disappointed in myself. You know, I knew I was pushing the limit. I didn't think I had done anything different than I had all day long when I was behind other guys. So we got to look at that. I'm very, very disappointed. I felt like, you know, we finally got the car, got ourselves in a position to win that race. It was a struggle. We were really battling with, you know, tire wear and the car getting really, really loose with our exhausted Chevrolet. And, you know, I thought Denny had the best car, but I thought with our track position there at the end, we had a shot at it. And, oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed. I don't even know what to say right now, but and of course then the car's like the absolute best it's been all day when I drive up from the back.
And then the respect and trust between yourself and Kenzie.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He and I have been through so much over the years. I think he was, I don't know, that was like my gift, I guess, for this year, going away.
Going away?
Yeah. You know, we were racing earlier, and I let him go to the inside of me, and he kind of body slammed me. And so on that restart, you know, I was just pulling at straws. I really wanted the inside. And say, hey, ask kids if they'll let me. This is the least he could do for body slamming me. So somehow the message got across. That was way cool, and it worked out pretty good for us.
Thank you, Jeff. Mike?
A great win for Denny Hamlin, but I'll tell you, if Jeff Gordon drives the rest of the season like he drove those last 40 laps, he could be our champion this year. What a day. March mayhem. It didn't disappoint, did it?
No, we run 500 laps. It comes down to two guys battling it out for that clock. And I love the way Brad Keselowski was working on Denny Hamlin. He took him high. He bumped him a little, went diamond that corner off, got a run at him, got him a little sideways, but Denny hung on.
A lot of new driver crew chief combinations for 2015, but the first one to go to victory lane, Dave Rogers and Denny Hamlin.
Let's go to victory lane, and Chris Neville.
And Denny Hamlin ends the 31-race winless streak for Toyota. Overall, Kevin Harvick, his streak of top two finishes stops at 8 as he wound up 8. But let's look at the number 2 driver who wound up second, Jamie Little. It's with Brad Keselowski.
Brad Keselowski looking at the stats right now. You bring it home second, your best finish here. How hard is it to be patient in times like that where you're so close to the leader?
Well, I really wanted that clock. We had a fast motor light for it here today, and you know, it seemed like some runs were good on a long run, some good runs we were good on the short run, and at the end we were good at the right time. And I just couldn't quite make the move I needed to, Jamie, to complete the pass, but I was right there, and would have loved to have about 5 or 10 more laps to keep trying, but it just didn't work out. But really proud. This is the best we've ever been here, and Paul Wolf and the guys, they've been working to get us a little better here. We know this has been one of our weak spots, and this will be a race that'll be in the chase later in the year, and this is a good sign for coming back.
He gets a win last week, and second, they are on a roll.
Stellar day by Matt Kenseth and the 20 team. Top 5 finish, especially here. A good momentum builder for the next stretch.
Martinsville's very unique. You know, it's hard to be disappointed with the top 5, but I really thought we had a shot at the win today. That second to last restart there, Jeff got by me, but I was able to start reeling back in. I felt real good about what I had in my car, and that last restart, I just didn't have it. I just didn't have any grip and couldn't go anywhere. So that was a disappointing ending, but yet I'm still thankful we finished good. Really happy for Denny and those guys. As an organization, we really needed this win. So and plus Denny's a big reason I could even run in the top 20 here, really. So happy for those guys. A little disappointed, but you know, take a top 5.
Kansas 4th at Martinsville.
And the chase standings, and Joe Gibbs, you know, this will make J.D. Gibbs feel just a little bit better. The president of Joe Gibbs Racing undergoing treatment for symptoms impacting areas of the brain function this week. So a lot of people on our mind thinking about him. Certainly as we look, this is a chase race, Michael, in the fall, this particular track. And these drivers drove like it today.
Yeah, and these guys also know how important this race will be come the fall. So they got taking really close notes as to what they were able to do their cars. Brad Keselowski, a big run for that team today. They're not that good here in the past. He's proven he's good everywhere over the last couple of weeks with some wins and second place finish.
So Brad is in, Denny Hamlin is in, along with Joey Logano after having won his race, standing by. Tough run for him today as he winds up 3rd. He's with Jamie Little.
Joey Logano, heck of a weekend, sweeps the polls, wins his first Truck Series race on Saturday, finishes third today. What was going through your mind those last few laps, watching the battle ahead of you?
I was hoping I could keep up with them more. Last spring, I watched Jimmy and Kurt race each other for the win like that, and I was running third watching it. I got the best view in the house. I just don't get to race with them, so need a little bit more speed with that Shell Penzo 4, but we're good recovery from the spin earlier in the race. Got ourselves back up there and seen a little bit more long run speed, but overall, like you said, a great weekend to get a truck win and a couple poles to third place. Overall, it's a good weekend for sure. Nothing to hold your head down about, but wanted to sweep it all.
Checking the unofficial results and some of the best finishes of the year, Michael Waltrip, for these drivers. David Reagan, Danica Patrick, and Martin Truex Jr. his 6th straight top 10.
You talk about rebounding. Truex on pit road with a power steering problem early, went all the way to the back, was able to drive that car into the top 10. Clint Boyer finally rebounds with a decent finish today. Casey Mears sideways, spinning out down to the corner into the top 15. Good rebounds for a lot of teams.
Frustration on a short track for Greg Biffle over his career and Tony Stewart. Those problems continuing as well. Paul Menard got caught up in a wreck. Ryan Newman started on the front row.
4 laps down, that's a shock. That car was fast all throughout practice. Early in the going, he looked really strong. Sam Hornish, Jimmy Johnson, and Dale Jr. What a struggle today was for those super teams.
And Chase Elliott, who replaces Jeff Gordon next year full-time, finishing 38th in his first ever Sprint Cup race. And let's check in right now with Jamie Little.
Well, Danica Patrick brings it home 7th, her first top 10 this year and first top 10 working with crew chief Daniel Knost. How does it feel now, Danica, to have a run this solid?
It feels good, and I would say that we've had a couple races this year that have, in general, been pretty decent. I think Atlanta could have been a pretty good finish if we wouldn't have had some technical issues, but it was just it's so much more fun here. It's like disaster to be off and struggling with the car, and it's really fun to have a good car, and we had both of them today, so I don't think I've really been in that situation before. But and TaxAct is on the car for the first time as a full sponsor, so but thanks to GoDaddy too, and this is the kind of stuff we need, a new group together. We need these ego boosts every now and again, so it was fun racing, and we hope to do it more often.
Danica Patrick's best finish at Martinsville.
And a contract year, very important, a tough run and a good run for Danica Patrick, as we just showed those final results. A 7-1 semi-favorite, one of the favorites for Denny Hamlin, fighting off a hot Kevin Harvick. Brad Keselowski coming off a win to win this race in a place that Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon have owned in the past.
Yeah, I talked to Danica down on our grid walk today, and she was just so confident. You could tell that she really felt good about her car. Practice went well, started in the 16th position, and just drove a heck of a race today. She was battling with Kevin Harvick, the guy that's been so successful this year, outrunning her teammates. What a great day for Danica.
Now that we're 6 races in, 36 overall, in the chase for the Sprint Cup and the championship to get in, your overview thoughts on drivers stepping up?
I think today was a big day for Toyota. They obviously have been struggling. No top 10s in the last 2 races. We talked early how strong the Gibbs cars would be today. 3 of them right up in the top 5. That was a solid performance for that team. I just enjoyed what I saw out of those guys today.
And for Denny Hamlin, 4 different times he led today, had to overcome a loose tire. Those pit road penalties, they cost Jeff Gordon. You heard him talk about that. But his 9th place finish, that equals his best of this swan song season. This was a track where he said he didn't want to use the word retire because he wanted to come back and race at some point, even when he's not a full-time racer. It was that good today. 5th time he's won here in Virginia. The native Virginia, Denny Hamlin, in the 11th FedEx Joe Gibbs Toyota. Right now, back to Jay and Dan in Los Angeles. Denny Hamlin had to fight to the lead 4 different times. He's in the 11th. Brad Keselowski in the 2 car with Michael Waltrip. You sat in that seat before, just trying to get rid of that other car that's in the way. How is he fighting him off here?
Well, you can see he moves to the inside of the racetrack. He's obviously saying either hit me, Brad, or go around the outside. Brad tries to go around the outside. That didn't work. So there's a little bit of a hit, trying to loosen him up off the corner. Didn't quite work for Keselowski. Great job for Hamlin doing some defensive driving there at the end.
And Denny Hamlin, who led quite a few laps last week in California, but had pit problems that kept him from winning, overcame a loose tire to win here, and this is the wall of you win and you're in. Victory puts you in the chase. Kevin Harvick, the only repeat winner. You heard the guy said his streak of top 2 comes to an end. But for Toyota, and we talked about the lack of speed or how you had to overcome that in some of the earlier races, Hamlin made it work on the first short track race of the season.
Well, we talked before the race. If you're lacking that top speed, well, you're at Martinsville. The top speed's 140 miles an hour. You don't have to worry about going 200. If you're lacking a little bit of aerodynamics, this is all about the driver, and it's all about mechanical grip. You can overcome those things. Today, Toyota well overcame any issues that they had. Obviously, the motors had a lot of good bottom-end power, too. That's key here at Martinsville. You get the gas down, you got to have something to come off the corner. With a higher gear ratio that we ran here, that was a big concern going into the race. Toyota accomplished their goals.
Last 2 weeks previously, no top 10 finishes for Toyota in victory lane today. They've been missing Kyle Busch as he recovers from the accident at Daytona. He hopes maybe May, the All-Star race, maybe June, to be back racing in that 18 car for him. David Reagan, who continued to have his best finish of the season so far, filling in for Kyle, is standing by with Jamie Lowe.
David Reagan, what a day, brings it home fifth. And before the race, you said coming to this place, you just naturally have a lot of pressure because Kyle Busch is so good in this car. You didn't act like you had a top 5 car. How was it running today this well?
Well, it was fun. You know, I think we've had some top 5 and top 10 cars the last 3 or 4 weeks, but we haven't been able to put together an entire weekend. So, you know, just thank you to all the M&M's Crispy folks and Interstate Batteries, Mars, for giving me the opportunity. And certainly, you know, Kyle's probably back home itching and ready to get back into this race car. This is a chase race for the fall, so hopefully we help the 18 team a little bit, you know, get their short track program better. But just a great day to finally get a run that we deserve. And Adam Stevens made some great calls and had a little bit of struggle early on, some damage in the front, and had to pass a lot of cars. But it's good to get a top 5. We'll enjoy Easter and can't wait to get to Texas.
All right, David Reagan's personal best finish here at Martinsville.
Thanks, Jamie. And another substitute driver today. And this was a last-minute moment for Regan Smith, who's filled in before. You can almost call him like America's replacement driver, because that's what he's been doing all season. Got the call at 5:30 in the morning. Kyle Larson, the 42-car driver, yesterday had a fainting spell here, signing autographs, taken to a hospital locally. Michael then to Charlotte. The early test he cleared, but they are talking to a cardiologist or having cardiologists check him, so he's still in the Charlotte hospital for further observation. But he had to be proud of the way Regan Smith stepped in for him today at the last moment.
Regan Smith is super sub. You put him in anything and he's going to give you a good day's work, and that's exactly what he did today on this tight Martinsville racetrack, starting from the back with no practice in the car to finish in the 16th position. That's a great job by Smith, and also for David Reagan. You know, it's a lot of pressure driving that 18 car, especially here at Martinsville. He was able to focus on his job and get a top 5 finish.
So after a week off for the Cup drivers for the Easter holiday weekend, and we wish you a happy Easter. We're in Texas. It'll be all about speed over a 1.5 mile race. Of course, last year that was an exciting finish. Joey Logano passed Jeff Gordon for the win. But then back to the short track swing. Martinsville, of course, where today Denny Hamlin won his 5th time at the Virginia track, the native of Virginia. Bristol afterwards, after we go to Texas, and then Richmond, the Saturday night race.
Well, if you like what you saw today, you're going to love those next 3 out of the 4 races on the short tracks. These guys beat and they bang. Today, we had more cautions than we've had all year long. We had more lead changes than we've had all year long. That means a lot of action, a lot of intense battling, and that's what the next 2 the short track races do for our sport.
And still in the championship picture, Kevin Harvick, still a top 10 finish, not top 2. He has led the most laps of any driver this year, led the most laps in today's race, and still has the 2 wins.
Yeah, and that's a stout team. They learned a lot for the chase race here at Martinsville in the fall. That car was solid early in the going as the track rubbered up and changed. Maybe the adjustments for the 4 car didn't work as well as some of the other guys, but they'll learn from that.
A fast start for the drivers to the season, 1/6 of the way through the NASCAR Sprint Cup season, and Denny Hamlin in victory lane here in Virginia. We wish you all a happy Easter. Right now, let's head back live to Los Angeles and Jay and Dan.